Namaste Krishna Rao garu. Welcome to IYRTalks English edition. Today we want to discuss one thing on the national level, a sensational thing which has the BJP government has taken for the appointment as joint secretaries. That too not by way of promotions and all, but it's a lateral entry. That is a direct recruitment through UPSC of different experts. And this has been thought about it, and there is an opposition lot, and because of that the even though this has been coined much before, like about 20 years back, it never came to light, and recently BJP government thought that they will do these joint secretary level appointments, but it has to withdraw because of the criticism by the opposition and all that. Previously we used to see, even for these sort of things, deputations from different cadres officers to this for decision making process and all that. What could be the motive of BJP government to make a thinking of appointing joint secretary levels through lateral entry?
First of all, the way the government of India runs, at higher level, it doesn't have its own cadre. They are all drawn from either different services or different states. Technically, all IAS officers belong to the state to which they have been allotted. So, there is nothing like a central cadre of IAS officers. These IAS officers go there on deputation for a period of 5 years. 5 years and then come back. Sometimes it may get extended, but of course, once they come up to the secretary level, since another 3-4 years to retire, they continue and then retire there. This is the way the system functions. Similarly, they also take people from different other services like income tax and others who also come and work in the secretariat. The central secretariat service, very few of them make up to the joint secretary level. Beyond that, not many will be there. So, essentially it is run on deputations from different states. Mostly IAS coming from different states. Journalists, basically most of them they are not specialists. They are not specialized in any one thing. So today you do education, tomorrow you go over to irrigation and things like that happen. But one thing good about government of India is once you go there, you have a tenure of 5 years. So at least during that 5-year period, you try to develop an expertise in that field. And you come for a cooling period of 2-3 years back to the state, and if you are lucky to go back to the same department, yes, then your specialization counts. But that may or may not happen. That's one thing. Second, most of these central secretariat services or central services or all India services all are recruited through a UPSC exam when they are very young, 20, 30s, maximum 30s, all of them make it. Once they make it at that recruitment level, they continue. So, there is no other infusion of any other stream or specialists or experts into the government. Some may not opt for these exams, they may specialize, they become professors, subject matter specialists with a lot of knowledge. It's always better to get that talent also into the government. This is what exactly lateral entry will fill in. So, you have a UPSC examination or examination, it can be interview or whatever, some very well thought out process through which some of these experts are roped in back at joint secretary level. Their services in the respective departments can be better utilized. This is the whole concept, and it's a welcome thing because most government across the world run on a system like this. They will have specialists. I mean, you have people coming from the universities working in the government and again going back to the universities lecturing there. Something which routinely happens in any number of countries. But unfortunately, India, it doesn't happen that level. Though there are cases of lateral entries, especially in Department of Finance and Economics. There are some people like Manmohan Singh himself came like that. Mantek Singh Ahluwalia came like that. So that Arvind Subramaniam came like this. So some people have come and worked. But beyond that, not many are there. So to fill up that gap, they have thought of that. Of course, it got into this problem of reservation, and so they had to withdraw it, and which is, I mean, a very, very right issue to be tackled before actual recruitment is done, because this affirmative action is something we have built into our constitution. At every recruitment you have the quota rota system through which the recruitment is done. You can't have a lateral entry which does not, conform itself to that broad constitutional principle of social equity. So what has to be done now is they have to think of a way of accommodating this reservation system into the lateral entry. Of course, most of the lateral entry you do 1-2 people for each wing. So in that you can't really do the reservation. So maybe they will have to take a pool of different departments, so 100 recruitment. Out of that, in some departments where qualified eligible people with reservation benefit come, recruit them there and do general recruitment in others. So that way it can be accommodated and taken care of. But with that, I'm sure the government's point in withdrawing it is to devise a system of reservations into lateral entry and then reintroduce it. I don't think they would give it up just like that, because it's a very good initiative from the government side. I hope it will come back in some form or the other to ensure that talent, which need not necessarily get confined to one exam, one time at one age, should also find a place in government. That's the whole idea of the lateral recruitment.
Is it going to be a regular phenomena every year, like this IAS, IPS and all that? Because once they are appointed, is there going to be any fixed period like 5 years, 10 years and all that, for people not to have vested interest in each of the activity? See, these are some subtle things, because you have to develop talent, means in the same field you have to do that at least once in a year, 2 years or 3 years and all that. So that clarity is also required when the Government of India, again, try to attempt to make keeping this lateral entry.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. I think even lateral entry has to be on a contract basis. Then only it will serve its purpose. 5 years, 6 years, you take them, let them work and go back. The whole idea of getting experts at that level is not that. They also make it a permanent job till retirement, and then at a point of time become a liability to the government. So whole idea of lateral entry is rotation, so that you get new people, you get new ideas, you get new expertise to work in the government. So to that extent, I think it makes sense to have a contractual appointment for lateral entry persons who come into the government.
But to that extent, deputation concept is already there in vogue to take care of people other than from IAS and IPS people as advisors to the government.
Yeah, a formal lateral entry where he works as a joint secretary. An advisor again may not get all the files. There is a central secretariat manual as per which the files move. So in that, the joint secretary is a very, very important, powerful, crucial post. The way the Government of India runs, the real responsibility lies at the joint secretary level. He is assisted by a number of directors, deputy secretaries, under secretaries and others, but that's a point from which there are about 3, 4 or 5 joint secretaries who report to the secretary. So joint secretary is a very, very crucial, important post. So if you don't have lateral entry at a joint secretary level, but take an advisor comes at the secretary level. He will be an advisor to the secretary. So at that time he may interact, but he may not really see the files and contribute. Whereas if you become a joint secretary, then you really see the file with all its details, with all its implications, and then contribute on that whatever is your experience there. So to that extent, it makes a substantially different approach compared to an advisor coming at a lateral level.
So thank you very much, sir, for giving us an excellent input on the hierarchy at the central level for decision making process. Thank you very much.
Thank you.